Hi, good morning. Today I'm going to talk about the wilderness. The great people, they went to wilderness. Jesus Christ, 40 days, Buddha in Bodh Gaya, Mahavira in the deserts of Vaishali, Prophet Muhammad in the wilderness of Mecca and Medina, and Pandavas in India in wilderness, and Rama, 14 years in the wilderness. So great people had been to wilderness for peace, for reflection, for escape from the society's problems, and ultimately to find God and meaning of life. So wilderness is where we find the absence of humanity. We see only nature. It's a raw nature. Today, as in the past, the noise and busyness of the city can really distract us from what really matters. But in the solitude of the wilderness is the silent invitation to examine our lives. Some answer the call of the wild for its beauty and adventure. Others come here for what they can leave behind. In the wilderness, the sounds and rhythms change. In the emptiness, the wonder and the silence, the cycle of distraction can be broken. As we enter the wilderness, we leave behind computers, cell phones, microwaves, transportation, busy schedules and interactions, traffic, sound pollution, sound horns, billboards, electricity, and all of the conveniences and clutter that normally control our lives. And thus our thinking for us. We don't think anymore. In order to get access to the wilderness, we need to sacrifice our comforts. That is the first requirement. You need to trade your comforts for the wild. We may not be sure what's going on with our lives in the wilderness, whether we can get food today, or are we going to be chased by a bear or a snake. So it is risky. The wilderness and the untameness of the wilderness can leave a lasting impression on us. Wilderness teaches a valuable lesson that there are some things that you can never control. When you are in the wilderness, there is no control. The wind blows on your face, sun shines, the hot rays are beating your body, and there are flies come and sit on your face. There are mosquitoes chase you and bite you, and you have thorns. So it looks almost hostile. But it is not hostile, it's a delusion. It is our home. That is the reality we are facing. And all creatures, thousands of creatures live in wilderness. Then why can't humans live in wilderness? Thank God, humans, they don't go to wilderness. Otherwise, there is no more wilderness. It would have been disappeared. I think the wilderness intimidates humans. I think it intimidates more. I wish humans can never fall in wilderness. They stay away from wilderness. If they fall in wilderness, I think there comes the end of the wilderness. These wilderness are spiritual places. Actually, Psalm 19, verse 1 to 3 declares that the heavens declare the glory of God, The skies proclaim the work of his hands. Day after day, they pour forth speech. Night after night, they display knowledge. There is no speech or language where their voice is not heard. They proclaim good tidings to cosmos. And also, there is a love of wild nature in everybody. An ancient mother love, ever showing itself whether recognized or known and however covered by cares and duties. John Muir puts it so beautifully, famous naturalist, I love his writings. Here is a quote from John Muir. Walk away quietly in any direction and taste the freedom of the mountaineer. Camp out among the grasses and junctures of glacial meadows. Climb the mountains and get their good tidings. Nature's peace will flow into you as sunshine flows into the trees. The winds will blow their own freshness into you, while cares will drop off like autumn leaves. As age comes on, one source of enjoyment after another is closed. But nature's sources never fail. American naturalist John Muir. So we need this connection to creation. John Muir further writes, one more quote for you. John Muir writes as follows: everyone needs beauty as well as bread, places to play in and places to pray in. Lovely. It's almost spiritual. Wilderness is a place where we can go and pray and find peace and find meaning of our own existence. I think that sums up what wilderness can be for us. It can be recreational too. Recreational. It's a place of play. Can be place of adventure. Some of the moments I felt closest to God was in the wilderness. I think it offers both to us. I like the word calling, dwelling. Dwelling. It's the idea of being somewhere, soaking it in. Soaking it in. I think that is good. Admittedly, we don't all have the means or opportunities to experience the wilderness of Himalayas, Western Ghats, Serengeti, Alaska, Alps Mountains, Andean Mountains, Sahara Desert, Thar Desert, Gobi Desert, or even to visit some of the national parks in our own state like Mudumalai, Nagaroli, Bandipur, even Amirdi Forest in Chennai. But the principle of the wilderness and what solitude and wonder can renew in us is so important. You can find the wilderness right in your backyard. Get away from the usual stuff of computer, cell phone, telephone, television, all those stuff. Leave behind and just retreat. There should be some quiet place in your own village, the neck of the woods. Even New York City, there is a place where you can go and retreat yourself in the New York Park. Every country has a park, every city has a park where you can retreat and reflect in silence. You can find it. It's worth doing whatever we can, wherever we can, even if it is to pause and observe a tree or a leaf or a single flower, many of them in front of your house, back of your house, flowers. Just observe the flower and you become unconscious. All these things can knock us down to unconsciousness. You find happiness. You become like a small child. St. Francis of Assisi became like a small child. He was soaking it in. That is dwelling. He was dwelling in creation. Anyway, we are reminded that movement of the Creator, a Creator who reveals himself in the wonder of the wilderness. That is ultimately. When we go to wilderness or when we observe the natural world, it proclaims the wisdom of the Creator, the God behind everything. They created everything out of nothing, ex nihilo. Every creativity God found, it was good. All this creation reveals God Himself. God in all in God. Have a nice day and God bless.